More than 50 Belizeans with placards in hand came out to support the leaders of the Belize Progressive Party, Belize Territorial Volunteers, and the Northern Territorial Volunteers. The protest in front of the National Assembly building in Belmopan was realized as a result of the recent Guatemalan incursion into Belize territorial waters. Robert Lopez of the BPP says that Belize's firm stance against these kind of actions has weakened.
And we see that after 35 years of independence, our position has weakened. We went from recognized borders to adjacency zone to artificial border. Now we have lost the Sarstoon. Next we lose Toledo, and soon we lose our country. I think of Mr. Golson also as a blind man being able to not see but understand what was taking place 25 years ago with the Maritime Areas Act. Now he stood up. I'm calling on the 31 members here who is going to stand up in Parliament like Mr. Golson. Nobody will. So we must make a stand. We must say, in the spirit of Golson, in the memory of Danny Konorki, we are not going to let this go by without taking a stand. We are losing our country. Little by little, our position has weakened, and now they're both colluding to go to the ICJ, which we think is the biggest mistake we will make.
And one man who has been in the forefront of this issue is Will Mejia of the BTV. He says that Guatemalans have been squatting in certain villages over the past years.
Dolores, incursions right there. Pasture they get built. Guatemalan pasture they build right now. Otosha, Guatemala, to see how deep that they in a Belize territory. That Guatemalan they in there. San Benito Poite, Guatemalan they in there. Halacte, Guatemalan they in there. San Vicente, Guatemalan they in there. But even worse and more embarrassing than that, deep down into the Bladen Nature Reserve, the jewel of Central America and the Caribbean, Guatemala they in there right now as we speak. Guatemalan citizens, they live inside Belize right now. All of them villages, I tell you, you could go there right now and check along the coast of Guatemala there.
Every Belizean whose eyes are open to see the aggression taking place by Guatemala, to see them bullying us, and now not even giving us free access and enjoyment of our river. Next, like I said, it will be the Moho, and then it will be Toledo, and then we shall lose Belize. We're not going to let that happen.
Leader of the opposition John Briceño and his colleagues visited the protesters but were not greeted the way they expected. The leader of the opposition was bombarded with questions, specifically if his party was for or against taking Guatemala's claim to the International Court of Justice.
I think that's a matter that what we have to do is to have more discussion. One of the problems that we've been having in Belize is that we've been talking through from emotion and not from fact. So we need to be able to have more consultation and more of an educational process and look at every single opportunity that there can for us to be able to support or to end this unfounded claim of Guatemala, from Guatemala over Belize, and to ensure that we protect every single square centimeter of Belize. What Guatemala did a few weeks ago in the Sarstoon is wrong, it's illegal, that's our land, and they should not be allowed to stop us from going to Sarstoon Island or to anywhere where in any part of the territory of Belize.
Philip and Orlando de la Fuente of the Northern Territorial Volunteers have not taken a position in terms of taking the matter to the ICJ.
But one thing that we all agree on is that any government that's in should protect our borders. And none of them are doing it. Nor the UDP, nor the PUP, they protect our borders. Then they discourage Belizeans from going to their borders. You know, and you don't see that coming from any Guatemalan, because if this thing would go to the ICJ, probably one of the questions that would be asked is who is using the Sarstoon, who is using along the border. No Belizean there at the border because we government, they discourage we from go. But Guatemalans, they are all over the place, even into Belize.
And we have to take a stand someday. You know, Guatemala is pushing and pushing, and I think that what our government is doing is just kicking the can down the road, and they hope that this problem doesn't surface anymore. And every time it surfaces, like with the gunboat that beached upon our reef, they just try like pull out the boat and send it, make nobody know about it. But at some point, we really need to take a stand and stand up for Belize.
Reporting for Love News, Hipólito Novello.